Spooky right now, right? The temperature is dropping, the excitement is growing here. I hope that we're going back and forth to the special camera that has this eclipse, and I've got to put my glasses on to witness this. We've just gone completely dark, at least by the way we see it here. Oh no, still a sliver left. Is it the diamond ring? Would that be the diamond ring, perhaps? Just a sliver left. A little more. There it is. We have reached totality here on the Oregon coastline. Total eclipse of the sun.
Just an incredible sight, Rob. We're looking at the corona of the sun, the atmosphere of the sun.
It is incredibly dark. It looks like night has fallen. The clouds certainly exacerbating that, but this is beyond twilight. It's a spooky, spooky experience. What do you have to say? What does it feel like right now?
We came from Los Angeles just to see this with my nephews. We drove all the way from Los Angeles.
What, drove here from Los Angeles?
Yeah.
That is commitment, baby. Welcome to the Oregon coastline. How's it feeling right now seeing your first eclipse?
It's amazing. I love it.
And we need the lights to see all this. We need the lights. I got to check it out one more time, David, because oh my, it is just absolutely spectacular. Look how dark it is, how quiet it is. The air is still. This is like being in the eye of a hurricane. It is spooky. It is spiritual.
I got to tell you, Rob, America is watching this
surreal.
with you.
It's amazing.
And when you see the corona around the sun there, Rob, the atmosphere of the sun, talk us through the science of that. I mean, that's hotter than the sun itself. It's millions and millions of degrees Fahrenheit.
It's, you know, you're talking about, thousands of degrees Fahrenheit, but what we're seeing right now is the corona, the outer atmosphere of the sun, which we don't get to see any other time. This is why scientists are launching balloons. This is why they got their telescopes out. This is why they're so jazzed about this, because we're able to see things that we don't normally see, with the exception of the eclipse. Yeah, exactly. She said there's something coming out from it. It's almost like you can see some solar flares coming out. Bailey's beads is something we saw earlier. You know, the moon is not completely smooth, so we're seeing some of the outer edges of the sun come through those valleys and over those mountains, and that's why you see that kind of this star effect now. And different colors are happening right now. It's unbelievable. Oh, the diamond ring! We're starting to see it. We're starting to get out of totality now, David. That was our 2 minutes of ecstasy, quite honestly. Unbelievable.
Yeah, this is
Total solar
extraordinary.
eclipse of the sun
To let
here
people know at
in
home
Lincoln City,
how we're
Oregon.
pulling this off with our photographers. Yeah, Rob, I just want to let folks at home know how we're pulling off the technology of this. You know, the photographers operating these cameras, but during totality, they can actually pull that out. So that's why you're seeing some of the shifting shades there on your screen. But Rob, now we're seeing on the other side here what happens. It's almost the exact reverse. And you talked about those Bailey's beads shining down, coming through the valleys. That's named after Francis Bailey, who first figured out what that was.
Exactly. I mean, you know, so much of sun.
Matt was just under blazing sun a moment ago. Matt, talk us through it.
It's hard to. I'm almost speechless. The crowd here is absolutely ecstatic. I'm going to have our cameraman, Glenn, turn down the lights so you actually get a sense of how... Turn it off, Glenn. Let's see how dark it really is. It's pitch black here. This is the most incredible thing I've ever seen. Right now, we're looking at the corona that's 1,000,000 degrees, so much hotter than the surface of the sun, just about 6,000 degrees. You can see it right there. You guys, I'm going to come back to our folks here. I mean, you guys drove 9 hours.
Oh my God! Yes! So worth it!
You know, this is the second most beautiful thing I've seen in my life.
Is that the first?
I was thinking this one here, you know, but...
That's a smart husband right there. Did you notice that? That is wisdom at work. I want to bring you over here to a friend of mine I met. Aria goes to... This is spectacular. Aria studies astrophysics at Pomona College. Aria! She drove here from Boston, David. Drove a car from Boston. That's 3,000 miles. Is it what you expected?
No, it's absolutely amazing. It's so dark out in here. It looks like a sunset over there. It's amazing.
And you can notice that the temperature has gone down substantially. There's so much less radiation here bouncing up and heating us up that it's actually chilly. Folks are in their sweatshirts, David.
We got sweaters because we knew it was going to drop something crazy over here. And so now we're warm and fine, right, Carmen? Yeah.
Hey, Carmen. Wow, this is a spectacular sight, David. This is something that so many people didn't expect to see. see. There are lights in the distance. There have been jets flying right by the corona. There are airplanes in the sky. That must be an incredible sight. Just beyond the teepees, you can see them. And this is lasting for 2 minutes and 4 seconds because we are right in the crosshairs of that totality. It is happening right here, and you can hear the cheers from the crowd as people watch that corona just radiate out. Now, it might have been clearer had we not had those forest fires nearby, but still, that is a pretty exceptional sight that so many people here didn't expect to see. We have folks with their telescopes out here. I'm going to try not to interrupt them. No. He doesn't want to be interrupted. What do you guys think?
This is pretty cool. It looks like it's nighttime. It's like a sunset, like all around. It's pretty close right now.
And what's astounding is that it continues. Now we're getting the diamond ring effect right now. The sun is slowly being taken out of the shadow as the light increases markedly. You can see it's like someone shining a spotlight on this field. There are thousands of people here. David, 100,000 people just in this part of Oregon outside of Madras, feasting their eyes on a spectacle that many of us will never get to see again. Back to you, David. This is a pretty remarkable sight
Just
here.
incredible. 10:22 back out. We are less than 10 minutes away from our next moment of max totality in this country, so we're going to take a break. The Great American Eclipse, our coverage continues live right here on ABC right after the break. We'll be back. And as it left Oregon, it was traveling at 2,900 miles per hour. It shows you that the distance between the Earth and the moon's a little further away, and that's why those speeds are going to change as they come across the country. I want to bring in Bill Nye as we look at those pictures from Oregon. That was just stunning. Bill, just explain to us why those speeds change and why these moments are really so fleeting. I mean, this is traveling very quickly.
Say it again. Something about why
Explain
these
to us
moments
why
are
the
spectacular.
speed of this makes these moments so fleeting. Yeah, they're so fleeting.
Why they're so fleeting? Well, you were just talking about the speed of the moon, more kilometers. So in order to do that, you're going extraordinarily fast. So is the moon. So although the sun may be, in a sense, hardly moving relative to us in space, relative to the background stars, we are going like crazy around the sun, and the moon's going like crazy around us. So these things only last for a little while. You can see it's raining here in Beatrice, Nebraska. But if you really press the glasses to your forehead, you can just get a glimpse of it. And so we see a clear patch of clouds coming, and we're all excited about that. The wind is blowing it this way.
We are excited, Bill. We're watching right along with you.
But it's raining
Everyone
in
at home looking at that
Beatrice,
crowd there
people,
with
but we're
you, Bill.
here, right?
Oh, we'll work on it. We'll work on it.
We're
In the
celebrating
meantime, look
the
at this.
eclipse.
We're looking live there in the lower corner, Sun Valley. You got 1 minute, 23 seconds now to the next totality. As you can see there, just a sliver of the sun remains.
When you look up, David, you're seeing barely a sliver of the sun. Just barely a sliver up there. And the sun was hot earlier here. It was fighting the eclipse. And now it feels like nighttime, looking out over this beautiful valley that we've been seeing all day, once cased in sun. Now just a little sliver as the moon is taking over the sun. More than 1,100 people bought tickets to be up here for this event. So limited tickets, many people taking the chairlift to get to the top of Bald Mountain.
And what a key moment this is, as you know, Rob was talking about earlier. This is the moment as the sun begins to completely disappear, when people will be looking for, you know, those so-called Bailey's beads, bits of lights poking through the canyons and craters on the roughed-up surface of the moon. That's actually what you see, the glimmering lights. And they talk about the diamond ring at the very last moment, that blast of light. And just listen to the crowd now waiting for this in Idaho.
Yeah, and these people came all the way down from Jamaica. They traveled more than a day, and you're seeing it right now. Yep. Janice and your friends, what's it like?
It's awesome! Oh my God, I can't believe I'm here!
It's the first we're actually seeing a solar eclipse. We're always seeing a nuclear eclipse, but it's the first we're seeing a solar. Lunar eclipse.
and really looking up, it's beautiful. We're seeing the full moon covering the sun, and you're right, David, it has that diamond effect around it. And Angie and your family, you've taken your kids here. You're from Idaho. You grew up in Sun Valley. You came down from Boise. What's it like?
It's just amazing. We wanted to create something really special, and this is like incredible. It's so great. What do you think, Haven?
It's so great. I've never seen anything like it.
Okay.
It's coming back.
Again, David, people really excited. Back to you, David.
All right, thanks so much, Olivia. This is a stunning sight. Just the beauty of the colors. You know, we normally only obviously experience this, you know, at sunset, at twilight, and now so many parts of this country are going to see it turn into night and then day again within the next totality. And Eva Pilgrim is standing by. This is the official NASA observation site, right, Eva?
That's right, David. And they have a lot so bright and so much hotter than the sun. They don't know why it's hotter than the sun, and they're trying to figure it out. This gives them an opportunity to actually look at it because the sunlight isn't blinding them. And we are watching this as it goes now. It's getting skinnier and skinnier and darker and cooler. There's a lot of people here from all over the place. I'm going to pull my glasses up so I can talk to one lady here. This is Faye, and Faye, it's your 75th birthday.
It is indeed, and I'm here in Idaho Falls for this wonderful eclipse.
And you came all the way from LA.
We did indeed.
Why come here for the eclipse?
Because it was a totality place and NASA approved.
And it looks like we are getting right up on it. Let's look up there. It's getting smaller and smaller. We have seen a major temperature drop. I actually had short sleeves on earlier. I put this sweater on because it's cold. and you don't want to be cold out here in the middle of it. These scientists are actually rolling on this video. So they're going to have quite a bit of video watching to see. We're waiting to see if that diamond ring comes out. And then they actually told us after the diamond ring to look at the ground because you can see shadow bands. It's coming around. Wow. It's really quite incredible. As the littlest, tiniest bit of the sun goes away, and we are almost literally in totality now. There it is. And at this point, we can actually look at it. Wow, you can see the light around the sun coming around the moon there. It is an incredible image to see, and the excitement from people here. Everyone on their phones trying to catch a glimpse of the totality. This is the one time that it's actually safe to look at it. And as you look on the ground, they were telling us to look for those shadow bands, and you can see some of those shadow bands on the ground now. Just an incredible sight. Completely dark in the middle of the day. Not like anything that you could ever imagine seeing, David. One of the other interesting things that they're doing,
what I have right here is that this... Yeah, go ahead.
One of the other interesting things they're doing are launching balloons with bacteria in them because the stratosphere above the Earth at this time is like Mars. It's similar to Mars, so they're trying to see if they can have life on Mars and if that bacteria will survive. So they're running all these experiments and they're watching it out of this location. Some really interesting things.
Yeah, a little cosmic geography because of what it's not only doing to the sun, but what it's doing to the Earth's atmosphere, as Eva points out. And just to keep in mind here, what Eva's experiencing, this max totality, is 1 minute 48 seconds there. It shows you that in all these different spots, it depends on where you are in that 70-mile ribbon. That's what determines how long your totality lasts. I want to take you to the next picture because this is extraordinary. You know, never eclipse the bride, they say, but let's go to the next location where there's one bride who was determined. These on, I can't see a thing, not the camera or the lights or anything, but when I look up, I can actually see the sun beginning to be carved out by the moon. It's really kind of extraordinary, and I wanted to look at it now because we're fighting with some incredible thing about Wyoming is all across that vast state. You know, in Glendo, Wyoming, a 200-person town has been turned into a town of thousands. There's like 20,000 people on just one of the airstrips there.
You know what, David? It's amazing. The population here in Casper of 59,000. They anticipate 50,000 additional people. People from all walks of life. We've got people from, let's see, Michigan, Denver. I'm going to try to keep my glasses on here, but people from just down the street and as far as New Jersey. They're enjoying the excitement. If you actually look up there you can see people with their telescopes getting that high perspective, but the sky has darkened. The temperature's dropped about 6 degrees, and we know that people have come from far and wide from across 6 continents. This area right here is called David Street Station. It's actually brand new. They built it so that people here could enjoy the eclipse. It wasn't here days ago. So a lot of people excited, and the sky's getting darker and darker. And I got to tell you, you can feel the energy. It's palpable. David?
We can feel it. We can see it right along with you, Adrian. Totality's at 1:43, so we've got 30 seconds left before we see it go pitch black there in Casper. I'm joined by a former astronaut, Mike Massimino, who was with me earlier here this morning. It is happening. You're absolutely right, Adrian. You can hear the crowd going wild. Mike, this is just an extraordinary thing to witness here on Earth.
Yeah. We are all geeked out about it. Everybody's energized. This is what they came for. It's like dusk. It's like twilight.
Just an extraordinary moment to share with you, Adrian, all of those people there in Wyoming. And Wyoming is such a stunning state to begin with. As we watch this happen in Casper, you know, it's 2 minutes now to the end of totality there. Look at that. What a stunning sight. And again, what I was saying earlier is our photographers are actually changing the lenses out so that they're able to show you that. It is really for their own safety, because they're the ones looking through the viewfinder on their cameras to look up and capture that moment for you. But Wyoming, just think about the vastness of that state. You've got Yellowstone National Park, which is north of the path of totality. So you're not really seeing anything there, but the Grand Teton National Park, anyone who's there, depending on where you are in that park, you're seeing this as well. But what just a stunning sight. And listen to the crowd. If we could just take a moment, I want to bring that sound up just to listen to the folks taking this in.
It's amazing, David. It really is like the glow from that corona is beautiful. And you can take your glasses off during the totality moment, but people are taking their shots. These kids are seeing this, grown-ups for the very first time. They've never seen a total eclipse in their lifetime. It's been 99 years since it's happened here in Wyoming, and it will be decades before it happens here again. It's beautiful. Absolutely stunning.
That's amazing.
You made the point. Oh, look at that shot. That is just an extraordinary shot we just saw. Obviously, that's the corona around the sun, which is the atmosphere around the sun, which we normally don't see to the naked eye. It's only in this moment when essentially we have a coin on top of a coin right now. You know, the moon is not nearly as large as the sun, but because of its distance from Earth, it appears to be. And that's how this magical moment at the new moon actually happens. That is a beautiful picture. Someone who knows this picture far better than I do is Mike Massimino. He's a former astronaut. And Mike, you and I were talking this morning. You've been to space, obviously, a couple of times, a couple of shuttle missions, but there is nothing like all of these American families who are able to take this in themselves. They're all astronauts for a day.
Yeah, you know, David, the one sad thing about space, see these wonderful things take place out in our universe and on our planet, is that you have some friends with you on your crew, but a lot of your friends are left behind on Earth, and your family's back on Earth, and you don't get to share it with them. But this is a great way for us all to share it together.
Hey, Mike, while I have you, you know, we just saw it, I think, the clearest we've seen it yet so far as we've been on the air today, and that is the diamond ring. It's that moment right before it's done and right afterwards. Right there, you're seeing it, that flash of light. It's just so extraordinary. Explain to folks why that's happening. We understand Bailey's beads. It's the light coming through the many valleys and craters of the moon. But what happens in that final second where we see that blast of light, the diamond ring?
Yeah, what you're seeing is just that final blast of what's coming through the craters getting extinguished before you get into totality. Just that last bit that's squeaking through there around the moon finally comes out. And all those things, the Bailey speeds, as you mentioned, and that final diamond blast, those are all things that the scientists are using. We're enjoying them from, you know, aesthetically, how beautiful it is, how amazing it is to be a part of this. But the scientists are looking in to understand more about solar flares, solar weather, and how the sun works, how its atmosphere works. So this is a great event just for everyone to enjoy, but also for the scientists to get the information that they dreamed about getting through this eclipse.
All right, Mike Massimino, former astronaut with us. Mike, thanks so much. And as I tweeted earlier, the closest I'll ever be to being an astronaut is being with you, Mike. So we really do appreciate your insight. We love having you on with us. In the meantime, you're not to go from astronomy and science to pop culture, but right now the #1 song on
see parts of the eclipse. We were able to step out, so all your guests, the way you intended, we could see the moon cutting in. The sun looked a little like Pac-Man, so we saw it. And the big important thing is, as you guys do this, that it's happening.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, and this is the whole thing here. The rain, obviously, we didn't anticipate, but thunder for it to storm a little bit.
That's
perfect.
my second choice.
Right.
Okay, this weather was worse on my wedding, and someone told me it's love colliding in the skies. Let's go with that.
Let's go with it. I love that.
I heard that's good luck, right?
Yeah.
Okay, well, the party continues here, but we're going to send it back to you, David.
I love that, Sarah.
David, it is about to happen for over an hour. It's been getting darker and darker and darker. It is about to happen here at Carhenge. By the way, that family reunion where they built this thing, I've spoken to the family. They've admitted they were a little bit drunk when they did it. And here we have it. It's happened. It's happened. And there have been clouds streaming across the sky all morning. Luckily, they are not here right now. We've got so many people have traveled here from, this place is more than 200 miles from the nearest airport. Not a hotel room to be found. We camped in an RV with 1,000 or so other people. And it has just happened here. There is not a cloud over. Oh, my goodness. Look at that. I may be speechless.
Just an extraordinary sight,
Holy
Nick. We're
moly.
watching right along with you. And that's what they call Carhenge, as I was mentioning. And Nick, you mentioned that they said they might have been a little inebriated when they put that together back in '87. But I love it. 38 cars rescued from nearby farms, from the dumps. They painted them all gray. But right now, you can't see the color. You can just see the outline of them under that extraordinary moment there.
And, they built Carhenge. They had no idea it was going to be slap bang in the middle of total eclipse. And by the way, all of those cars, David, they're all American cars, perfect for our great American eclipse. And
I love that.
I've never seen anything like this.
Hey, listen, I heard there wasn't. I heard there was. I heard there wasn't a hotel room for over 150 miles where you are, Nick. You staying in one of those cars? If you look up, you can actually see right here in South Carolina. That is the view that we're looking at right here as we now approach. We have 1 minute 35 seconds to the next totality, which is right where I'm standing in, of course, Charleston. We just watched it in Columbia, the state capital, and what an extraordinary sight they saw in that stadium. And I've got to tell you, I'm surrounded by an incredibly gifted crew, but no one is looking at me right now. They are looking at the sky as they should be. They are capturing the moment. They all have their glasses on. And we are standing on the People's Building, appropriately enough, here in Charleston. And I mentioned earlier in the program, President Taft came to this rooftop in the 1920s because it was one of the best views in this great American city. And now we are taking in the great American eclipse. The final stop in a big city, at least, here in the continental United States before this great American eclipse heads out to sea. It is pitch black. You can hear cheers throughout the city. You probably can't hear it at home, but you can hear it as we stand on the rooftop of this building. We have gone into complete darkness. And we have watched this play out in so many cities across this country before it even got to us. And there's nothing you can do to prepare for it. It is just breathtaking. People are applauding throughout the harbor. And anyone who's ever been to Charleston knows it's one of the prettiest cities in America. They were so excited and so welcoming, everyone who helped put this production together on this rooftop. And they are now taking it in. If we can look up and we can see that we are now in a total eclipse. You can see the corona around the sun, which is one of those rare moments where we here on Earth, with the naked eye, can actually see that outer atmosphere of the sun, which we all know is a lot warmer than the sun itself. And we're, of course, waiting for, as it now then comes out of totality in about 56 seconds or so, we'll see that diamond ring again. And we've seen it play over and over again. The diamond ring and the And Bailey's beads, obviously named after Francis Bailey, the great astronomer who first coined the sunlight peeking its way through the valleys and the craters of the moon. And that's what creates those beads, that beaded effect. And here it comes. We've got 25 seconds left here in Charleston. And you can see how, blessed the folks of Charleston are, and we feel, because look at the cloud cover on the right screen. You can see how many clouds are in the sky. We did not know whether or not this would work for us or not. But we are seeing it. We are seeing it. It's quite visible to the naked eye. We're watching this with so many scientists who joined us today, former astronauts. I want to bring in Dr. Hakeem Oluseyi. And as you take in this image with us, Hakeem, what do you make of the fact that we have all been able to witness now the diamond ring we're seeing, the flash of light, as now darkness and nighttime turns back into daylight here in Charleston? What an extraordinary thing to witness.
It completely is. And I've been chasing eclipses for over a decade. And typically it's in places that are far-flung around the world. Ghana, Mangaya in the South Pacific. And it's a small group of people that travel all over the world to visit these. But now here we've had one coast to coast across America. The countries come together and we've all celebrated and we've all participated. It's like a big sporting event, except it's a big science event.
I've got to tell you, Hakeem, I'm really struck by the luck that kicked in across this continent, from the West Coast to the East Coast, with the exception of Nashville, and they were such good sports about it. But, the clouds parted ways just when it mattered most in so many of these cities along the path to allow Americans to see something that we haven't seen in 99 years. We saw the last one in 79, 38 years ago. That was only part of the country, but this is so unique. It's only the United States. We haven't co-opted this solar eclipse. That's not why we're calling it the Great American Eclipse. We're calling it that because only the United States, the continental United States, is actually seeing this today.
That's right. And what's amazing about it is that it goes from the West Coast to the East Coast. It is indeed a very, very rare event. And here we are all to witness it. And we're at a time where we have all this technology. And this means that not only the people who are on the line of totality get to see it, but it gets to go into homes all around the world. Everyone gets to share in the excitement. Everyone gets to share in the beautiful views. And if you're on the line of totality, you get the full experience. You get to experience the sun going dark. You get to experience the air getting cool. You get to see the shadow of the moon racing across the countryside. I tell you, it's really something, and it's so amazing. You understand why people travel all over the world to see them. I'm one of those people, and now I think many more are going to be inspired to join us.
It really puts us in our place as far as our role in the cosmos, doesn't it? The fact that we here on Earth are part of something much bigger.
That's right, we are. We are the universe itself, right? We are the universe become conscious and able to witness itself. And today we've witnessed something that's, it's extraordinary. And, we're really connected to the sun and the moon because it all started at what we call, eventually, us humans came about. And here we are to build instruments in order to see it and to witness it.
And I have to say, Doctor, we feel lucky right here in Charleston as well to have witnessed the lineup of the Earth, the Moon, and the Sun in the way we haven't seen in our lifetime. When we come back, our coverage of the Great American Eclipse continues as it moves out to sea. So many of you at home sending us your messages, your tweets, and your images. We'll be right back. Back in a moment.